Hi, how are you? I'm Guido Grinbaum, and now I'm going to continue with Module 19 of the Microcredentials course. I hope you're enjoying it and learning. When we think about microcredentials, we usually picture them as academic or technical tools or as part of an educational strategy, but there's something deeper. Every digital credential that a university issues is also a living piece of its reputation. Each shared badge is a story, and every story, when told, expands the institution's voice out into the world. Today we're going to talk about how to turn microcredentials into a tool for academic marketing, visibility, and institutional pride. When a student shares a digital credential on LinkedIn or in their portfolio, they're not just showing their personal achievement, they're showing who educated them. They're saying, "This university recognized me." This seemingly individual act is actually one of the most effective and organic forms of institutional promotion. And the best part is, it doesn't cost anything. Every shared badge multiplies the university's reach in an authentic way, without ads or publicity. According to data from several credential platforms, 83% of people who receive a digital credential share it publicly. And on average, each post reaches between 2,000 and 5,000 organic views. Let's do a simple calculation. If a university issues 1,000 credentials a year, that amounts to more than 3 million views of its academic brand. 3 million times that someone sees your logo, your name, and your excellence reflected in the student's achievement. That's not a certificate, that's reputational marketing in its purest form. Now then, how do we make a credential work as an institutional communication tool? There are three fundamental keys. First, the design. The badge must reflect the university's visual identity. Its colors, its typography, its crest, its style. A student should be able to say, "That's from my university," just by looking at it. Second, the message, the text, the metadata, the description must be clear and understandable. It should be obvious what it represents, who issues it, and why it has value. And third, consistency. All credentials should tell the same institutional story, even if they certify different skills. Each credential is a digital ambassador, and like any ambassador, it needs to represent its institution with clarity and pride. That's why badges are much more than just small icons of achievement. They are living micro-campaigns that, when shared, build visibility and brand positioning. The big secret is to accompany that issuance with an institutional communication strategy, and this is where LinkedIn comes into play. LinkedIn has become the most important stage for digital credentials. Students and graduates use it as their professional calling card, and universities have a unique opportunity. Every badge shared on LinkedIn carries a direct, verifiable link to the institution. That means organic traffic, visibility, and academic reputation. FIU, for example, reported a 45% increase in searches for its brand after launching its micro-credentials program without spending a single dollar on advertising. But the key is not just issuing badges, it's about telling stories. Credentials by themselves are just data. Stories transform them into meaning, telling the story of a student who got a job thanks to a credential, or of a company that chose certified graduates, or of a professor who incorporated micro-credentials into their course and greatly increased their students' motivation. Each story like this strengthens the institution's prestige. Tecnológico de Monterrey, for example, shared on social media the story of a student who landed a position at Google after completing a micro-credential in innovation. That post received more than 60,000 organic interactions. A single story, 60,000 impacts. No institutional campaign can achieve that level of authenticity, because when students speak for their university, they do so with emotion, pride, and credibility. So how do you create institutional campaigns with badges? There are many ways. One could be Badge Your Future, a campaign for graduates to request credentials for their current skills. Another, I Have My University's Badge, an initiative that reinforces identity and belonging. Or even campaigns by faculty, badges for sustainability, innovation badges, academic leadership badges. Each campaign amplifies the message and connects the community with pride. Traditional academic marketing usually talks about programs, rankings, and events. Marketing with microcredentials talks about people, achievements, and the future. And this creates a much more powerful kind of emotional connection because credentials aren't just shown off, they're shared. And when something is shared voluntarily, it's because it has meaning. Measuring the impact is also part of the process. Universities can analyze how many credentials were shared, how many interactions were generated, how many clicks the verification link received, and whether enrollments or inquiries increased. SUNY, for example, saw website visits grow by 27% and admission applications by 12%, just 6 months after launching its micro-credential program. It wasn't magic, it was well-managed digital reputation. The next step is to integrate credentials into all institutional communications. Add badges to newsletters, include them in admissions campaigns, display analytics dashboards as part of annual reports, and publish testimonials from employers who validate their value. The goal is for micro-credentials to become a natural part of the institutional narrative. Of course, there are also common mistakes. The most frequent ones are four. First, issuing without communicating. If no one finds out, the impact is lost. Second, designing generic badges without visual identity, they don't inspire pride. Third, not encouraging students to share them. You have to guide them and show them how to do it. And fourth, not measuring. What isn't measured can't be improved. At its core, microcredential marketing isn't advertising, it's trust. Every shared credential sends a very powerful message. This institution recognizes talent, promotes learning, and values effort. There's no media campaign that communicates that better than a badge in the hands of a happy graduate. And I want you to remember this idea. Every badge a student shares is an open door, a door that connects the university with the world of work, with other institutions, with the media, with opportunities. That's why it's not about issuing more badges, but about issuing them with purpose, with design, and with a narrative. Institutional pride isn't built through speeches, but through actions that others recognize. Every time a graduate shows their credential, they're saying, I'm part of something that prepared me well. And that message, multiplied by thousands of students, is the best publicity a university can have. In short, micro-credentials are much more than just a certification mechanism. They are a communication strategy. They are the new language of academic reputation. Every badge that is shared tells a story, and every story shared strengthens the reputation of the university that made it possible. The marketing of the future isn't in slogans, it's in verifiable achievements, and those achievements are already in your hands. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next module. I hope you enjoyed this one and learned something.